Good evening, Glads Nation, and welcome back to another edition of our player signing show presented by Lippes Mathias, attorneys at law. I'm Guy Carenza, and tonight is our sixth player signing show. As the Gladiators roster begins to take shape, let's recap our previous signings before we get to tonight's newest Gladiator. We started off with Andrew Jarvis, starting with a defenseman. Then we went with three forwards, Ryan Nolan, native of Georgia, Connor Galloway, followed by Swedish forward Isaac Walter. And then last week on Thursday, we welcomed Brendan Datema back to the Gladiators. And tonight, we are going to welcome a new Gladiator to the squad. He'll be playing his first season as a pro. So make sure you drop your questions in the live chat for our newest Gladiator, who is set to be announced right now. As I just mentioned before, he's coming off of a successful college career, entering his first season as a professional. He's a right shot forward, standing at 5'6", 161 pounds, 25 years old, finished off a great college career at SUNY Geneseo. Please welcome to the Gladiators, Peter Morgan. Peter, thank you for taking the time to join me tonight.
Thank you for the announcement.
We're happy to have you on board, and kind of alluded to it there. I had a great college career. It's your first season as a pro. Just tell me, how excited are you to be joining the Gladiators this season?
I'm extremely excited. It looks like an awesome place to play with a great fan base and awesome arena. I couldn't be happier to be heading to Atlanta.
Yeah, what was it about this team or maybe this area that made you say, yeah, I think I want to be a Gladiator?
I really enjoyed talking with Coach Matt Ginn, and then obviously the atmosphere looks unbelievable. It's not too far from home, and looks like a great place to play.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on the squad for this season. And you mentioned not too far from home. Would you mind telling the audience where you're from?
I'm from Sarasota, Florida, about 7 hours from Atlanta and an hour south of Tampa.
It's just a stone's throw away. And so I'll lead off with my first question. Being from Florida, how in the world did you get into hockey? I mean, hockey's not necessarily a sport. Well, maybe now it is after the recent success of the Lightning and the Panthers. But when people think of Florida, they don't really think of hockey. So how did you get into hockey?
Well, I was born in Chicago. I lived there for 10 years, but I
Okay.
classify myself as a Floridian since I've been here for so long. And yeah, so that's how I got into hockey. And then a lot of credit to the Lightning and the Panthers for growing the game in the Sunshine State.
Yeah, it's huge. And so, you grow up, start playing hockey, and then you commit to SUNY Geneseo. What a fantastic career you had there. I mean, all 4 years, from freshman to senior, you led the team in scoring. You finished with 56 goals, 84 assists, 140 points, and 110 career games. So just a fantastic tenure there. I mean, walk me through it. Just from your freshman year to senior year, what was that experience like for you, and what was your biggest takeaway from it?
Um, I think looking back, I changed a lot throughout the 4 years. So I didn't start as the same hockey player as I finished, and nor was the experience the same each year. You know, your first year, everything's new, you're really excited, um, and you're kind of figuring out where you belong on the team and what you can do to make the team better. And then by the fourth year, you've been around a while. You love being there, and you kind of refine that game, and you can kind of do more for the team. So I think there was a lot to learn, and I'm really grateful for those 4 years because it's a wonderful place to play college hockey.
It's interesting that you mentioned that you feel like you kind of evolved as a player over time, because it seemed like your freshman year, you come in, you score 43 points in 28 games. You're named the SUNYAC Rookie of the Year. I mean, it seems like you just, got it all put together right at the start. So take me through that freshman year. What was that like for you, and how did you find that success in year one?
It was a lot of fun. Our team was really good. We made it all the way to the national championship game. So there wasn't a whole lot to worry about defensively on that team. It was a pretty well put together defensive team. And our power play clicked really well. So those were two advantages that I had my first year. And then I think the last 3 years, you kind of had to work a little bit harder to find production and kind of like kind of to help a little more defensively towards the end.
Gotcha. And I mean, this last year, another great year for you: 15 goals, 22 assists, 37 points in 30 games. So just business as usual for you. What was last year like for you? I mean, you mentioned, the difference between freshman year to senior year. Last year, you were the team captain. So tell me, what did that honor mean to you? And then how do you feel your last year of college went?
It meant a lot to me. I was very grateful. I think I had a really good relationship with our coach. He was a smaller guy in stature like myself, so he did a lot to help me throughout the 4 years become a better player. And it meant a lot to be named captain. And senior year felt like it meant more because you knew you weren't going back. So I was really grateful that our team kind of bought in and made it as far as we could go. So it was an awesome year. I was really proud of our team.
What would you say is your favorite moment or memory from throughout your 4 years there?
Mm, Probably my freshman year when we won our conference at home to a sold out crowd. The experience was also new to me, and it was in Geneseo, and it was a great memory.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun one. I mean, if you like rowdy fans, we got them here in Atlanta. I mean, we got them rolling into the live chat. We got some questions popping in for you. For those of you who are just joining us, Peter Morgan joins the Atlanta Gladiators for his first season as a pro. So we've got him on the show here now. So in the next couple of moments, we'll get to the fan questions in our live chat. So make sure you drop your question there for Peter. And you mentioned it before. You go all the way to the national championship game. You ultimately lose to Adrian. But was there something from that experience that really stood out to you? What did you learn from that? And just how awesome was a moment was that?
Yeah, it was super awesome. I was super lucky because that was my very first experience in college hockey, and I think you learn a lot from the senior class that kind of drove that run. So as freshmen, we were fortunate to learn from that senior class, and we ended up making it back. So we took a lot from them. But I just felt really lucky to play that much hockey my freshman year, and get to experience everything from the games at Geneseo all the way to the Frozen Four at Lake Placid.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big accomplishment, making to the Frozen Four and even the national championship. So definitely a lot to build off of from there. And then you actually are a national champion with the Aberdeen Wings back in junior. So you did win there. What was that experience like for you?
Uh, yeah, that was a long time ago. That was
You
really
remember all
cool.
the way back there.
Yeah, yeah.
You're digging deep on that.
Um, that was great. That was my first year of junior hockey. So I probably kind of similar to my freshman year. I guess there's just a lot to learn, led by the older guys. Had Aberdeen, South Dakota. It was a small town, but the team was really tight. And that was a special one as well. Just
I'm noticing a trend here, Peter. It seems like your first year is always a big year for you and your team. So I'm liking this a lot. I'm liking where this trend is going. Happy to have you on the squad this season. And if you want to see Peter in action, single game tickets are now on sale. So head to atlantagladiators.com and get your tickets. Pick your night, pick your game. You got a lot of very exciting promos on the schedule. So again, atlantagladiators.com is your space for that. Go check out what we've got going on at Gas South Arena all season long. And looking for a little bit more than just one game, I recommend season ticket packages. So we've got full season, 18 game, 12 game, and 7 game. There's something for everybody. So make sure you call 770-497-5100 to get in touch with our outstanding ticketing staff. They are super great, super friendly. Give them a buzz. 770-497-5100. And speaking of our fantastic ticket staff, Alex Bennett, our manager of ticket sales, who is unable to join the stream here tonight, actually wrote in a question to me to ask to you. So our question from Alex is, what are you looking forward to doing the most and once you get to Atlanta outside of playing hockey or maybe golf?
Golf's a good one. I heard the Braves games are pretty cool, so I guess that would probably be up there.
You ever play baseball growing up?
Uh, Not for too long.
More of a hockey guy,
Yeah.
Do you root for an MLB team growing up?
Uh, yeah, I guess the Chicago Cubs and the Rays would be my teams.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'll have to get out to Truist Park. I haven't been there myself, although Alex Bennett, who I just mentioned before, he actually is a big fan of the Braves games going out there. Actually, a lot of our ticket staff are. So I think you and I both have that on our bucket list. But we'll get to the ballpark soon because, segue to the next one, we're coming up for a night at the ballpark with the Atlanta Gladiators. We're pairing up with the Gwinnett Stripers. We're going to have a swinging good time at Cool Ray Field Saturday, August 16th. So that's coming up. So mark your calendars. Doors open at 4:05. Game starts at 6:05. All the Glads fans will be in the same section in section 105. And it's going to be a great night. Season ticket holders, scan that QR code for tickets. And just in case you're watching on your phone, I totally get it. I'm going to put that link in the live chat. And you can click that there and then get set up for the night at the ballpark. And I'm looking forward to that. Not a huge baseball guy myself. I mean, much like you, Peter, I'm more of a hockey guy. Obviously, with the circumstances that run here tonight, but should be a lot of fun. So make sure you meet us at Cool Ray Field on August 16th. So going back to it, how would you describe your style of play? And I mean, you mentioned your size before. You're 5'6", 161. How have you been able to use that to your advantage throughout the course of your career?
I would say that speed is my greatest attribute, and that's kind of what I've relied on. That paired with maybe playmaking and just trying to make smarter decisions and do things quicker than others has helped me in the past. I'm hoping to continue that trend. But yeah, that's how I guess I would describe myself as a speedy playmaker.
And what do you do in the off season to train yourself to build up that speed? Because I mean, that's something that's built up over time. Obviously, what kind of goes into your training regimen to get to that level?
Um, I since I'm smaller, my dad also is, and so he recognized that in high school I was like a decent hockey player, and he knew that I wasn't going to have much luck in the height department. So he, taught me how to lift, put on weight, kind of like a bodybuilder. So I guess I have a little bit different of an approach that works for me since I am smaller. It's something I might need more than other guys when it comes to training in the off season. So I guess that's my strategy.
Now, outside of training in the off season, what are some of your hobbies? What have you been up to here in the off season?
There's golf, there's hockey, there's the gym. Up north, I like to ski. Um, it's kind of all I got.
You a big golf guy?
Yeah. When I'm good at it, it's a lot of fun. When I'm not, it's not a lot of fun.
There's a lot of really good courses around the area, and we actually have a golf night on the promo schedule this season towards the end of the year. So again, AtlantaGladiators.com. Go check that out. A lot of good stuff in store. So maybe that might be right up your alley, especially being a bit more of a golf guy. So very, very cool. And with that, we will turn our attention to the live chat and get to some questions for Peter. So thank you to everybody who has tuned in so far tonight for the 6th edition of our player signing show. With me here is Peter Morgan, the newest Atlanta Gladiator, coming all the way from SUNY Geneseo, where he spent a 4-year college career preparing to turn pro. And so we'll see him on the ice this fall. And see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. That's good. Fuzzy got here early. Always good to see. And see, scroll down. You guys are chatting in the live chat. My goodness. Gotta scroll way down to get to the questions. Tracy Hayes from the Booster Club asks, what are your favorite foods? They like to feed you, so she needs to know.
I love red meat, sweet potatoes. I was a big mac and cheese guy when I was younger. That kind of phased out. Uh, I still enjoy it from time to time. Um, and I guess sometimes I have a sweet tooth.
Stadium Arena asks, who is your favorite Ottawa Senators player?
Danny Heatley.
Danny Healy. You're not the first one to say that. A common answer. I mean, he asked the same question just about every stream, so I think he might be a Senators fan. But that's a good answer there. Joe Mama, welcome back. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I mean, in theory, it's like it is, but I want to say it's not.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of a trick question.
I'm gonna say no.
Daffy Do, newcomer to the stream, I believe. What are you looking forward to the most being a part of the Glads?
I guess there's a lot. Being just being a part of the team, getting to know everyone, uh, learning what I can from some of the great hockey minds involved. Just like the whole experience, really, I'm excited about.
Yeah, first season turning pro. It's going to be an awesome experience for you. Kind of asked this one already. Amy Palmer asks, what have you been doing off the ice this summer, both for fun and for conditioning? But is there anything else that comes to mind that has stood out to you? Maybe have you been to any concerts this summer? What have you been up to?
Um, Nothing too crazy. I can add to the conditioning part. There's like a 3-on-3 summer hockey league. It's called SoFlo. It's played on the other coast in around the Fort Lauderdale area, and it's pretty competitive. They have a large social media following, and I've been going over there to play in that sometimes on the weekends because they have some really elite players, and I don't know. That's been a lot of fun. I've been golfing a fair amount, and yeah, nothing too noteworthy.
That's cool, though. I mean, get out there, get some hockey in the summer. I mean, never a bad thing. What's your hockey nickname?
Oh, like it from the boys in the past, it's been Petey or Morgs. I wore 55 at Geneseo, so the guys called me Fives. Um, they thought that was funny because Nicholas Cronwall used to wear 55, and he was a big tough guy for the Red Wings, and yeah, I'm smaller in stature, so they thought that one was funny. So I guess those are the three that I was used to.
That is pretty funny. Maybe Glads fans will have to come up with another one for you. Maybe the boys in the room. But I do like those. Those are pretty cool. Hockey nicknames are always fun,
Hmm.
especially when they're not just add an EY or an ER to your name. Jared Youngman, the president, asks, do you have any superstitions?
In the regular season, no. And once I start getting into playoffs, they grow, I would say. Well, I guess I have to do the same exact stretching routine before every game, or I'll like get in my head, I'm not prepared, this or that. So I guess that would be the only superstition I have.
What's your game day routine like? Uh, Walk me through your day heading up to puck drop.
Well, I guess that would depend on if there's morning skate or not. If no morning skate, I would wake up. We would go to breakfast, try to get as many of the boys as we could to go out. Then I'd probably walk it off for a little bit, go to the rink, stretch, come home, nap as long as I could, carb up, and then get to the rink about 3 hours early. That's pretty accurate, I would say.
Very nice. Joe Mama, with another question. Favorite musical artist?
Um, that's hard. If we go by genre, country music, it would be Tyler Childers. Hip hop would probably be Drake, and then EDM would be Swedish House Mafia. I guess those are the three genres of music I listen to the most. So I guess you have one for each.
Did you get the privileges with the aux cord at Geneseo, or is that somebody else?
I had it sometimes. The last 2 years, I had it the whole time. Before that, I did not.
Always fun to ask that question, I think. Tracy Hayes, favorite jersey number? You sticking with 55 if you can, or is there something else that comes to mind?
Yeah, I always tried to have a 5 in my number. My full name's Peter Joseph Morgan the fifth, so my parents get upset if I don't use the 5 in the jersey number.
Makes sense. Follow up to the Ox question: what's your go-to song on Ox? So, what's the first thing you're playing in the locker room?
Oh man. We had there's a Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue was a really good one while we were getting dressed to go onto the ice before games this year. The boys enjoyed that.
That's a good one. That'll get people fired up.
Yeah.
For sure. And let some more questions roll in. Another one from the president. What's your pregame routine? Kind of went over that already, but let's say you're on the road. Does it change if you're on the road?
uh,
Are you trying to stick to the same routine as close as you can?
it doesn't have to be the same. I like to walk and stretch before, like, if the game's at 7 o'clock, I would like to walk and stretch in the morning just to move around and try and feel pliable, ready for the game. And then I don't have to nap, but it's just a little extra security in the back of my head if I can get one in. And then I prefer to stay loose and hang out with everyone on the team as much as I can. I don't like to neglect myself from everyone or be stiff. I kind of like to hang out, I guess.
Yeah. Build some chemistry with the boys. Staying on with road trips, when it comes to getting to in there on the bus and the plane and whatnot, what are you doing to pass the time?
I'll read. I feel like it's pretty easy to lose yourself on your phone these days, so there's a lot of that going on. Um, I don't know. I'll have to pick up some new ones. It seems like.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the guys can introduce you to some stuff, but I mean, yeah, you speak about getting lost on the phone, man. You go on Instagram, TikTok, it's a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole, but the one thing that everybody should go and follow is the Atlanta Gladiators, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. Our social media team does a fantastic job. So give us a follow, subscribe on YouTube, smash like for Peter Morgan joining the Gladiators this season in his first year as a pro. We got a little bit more time for some questions for Peter. Joe Mama with a third question tonight: Buc-ee's or Wawa? Have you been to either?
I've never been to a Buc-ee's, although I've heard that's the greatest travel stop of all time. I have to go with Wawa just because I have no Buc-ee's experience.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys. Joe's been asking this question. I do like this question though. Joe's been asking this question for the past couple of streams now. I don't think Isaac Walter said he has been to a Buc-ee's. I think Datama said he had been to a Buc-ee's. He played in Amarillo, so I'm pretty sure he said yes, if I remember. So we got a good mix on our team this year of guys that have and have not been to Buc-ee's, and it is quite the experience, I will say. So I think another thing to add to your bucket list. Amy Palmer asks, what is your video game at the moment? So you playing any video games? Are you a gamer?
I'm not a gamer. I haven't been for a while. I know it's popular with hockey players, but I don't know. It doesn't scratch an itch for me.
Simple as that. You play any other sports growing up?
Yes, I played lacrosse until about eighth grade. I would have had to switch high schools, and I wouldn't have been able to miss as much school for hockey. So that's how that ended. But lacrosse was a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Karen Zahner, what is the biggest adjustment you're preparing for as you transition from college to the ECHL?
I would say probably speed and strength, just making sure that I'm in as good a shape when it comes to both. So I can be at the best of my abilities to give myself a good starting point.
People seem to like that you're a reader. We got some bookworms in the chat, and we actually have some book readers in the office as well. So I'm sure they're a big fan of that answer too. What's your favorite book?
Depends. Like when I was younger, I ripped through all the Harry Potters and the Rick Riordan Greek mythologies. I loved those. Not so much anymore. The most recent book I read was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That was good. I don't know if I really have a favorite.
Kind of springs a question from me. In those high pressure moments in games or even before games, where you kind of need to calm down a little bit and just focus, what do you do to kind of lock in and just get into the zone?
I guess just sometimes it's just you talk to yourself a little bit, regroup alone. Um, or if it's not going well, you just tell yourself to do anything you can out there to get yourself engaged, do something you can feel good about, and then build on it.
A good answer. I like that. And then question here from RJ. What was it like when you were a captain in your final year in college? What's it like, being the leader of a group of guys and especially going as far as you guys did? I believe, you had another great season. Kind of walk me through that.
I enjoyed it, and I didn't feel a ton of pressure because our senior class was really tight, and we all kind of helped each other. We led together. I didn't feel like it was a whole lot of pressure. I just made sure that I was communicating with our coach constantly, uh, giving him feedback based on what I saw, and then he would do the same to me. It was a good relationship, and I don't know, I didn't feel a lot of pressure from it because I felt there was a tremendous amount of help. It felt like there was a group effort rather than an individual.
That's really good to hear. I mean, tell me more about your relationship with your coach, Chris Schultz. It seems like you really have a strong bond with him. How has he helped you progress in your career, maybe on and off the ice, as now you prepare for your first season as a pro?
He helped a lot. He forced me to care about the other side of the puck. That's not as fun, and I'm very thankful for that because I needed to get better in those areas so I could make it to the next level. And he always stressed that. And maybe I didn't believe him as much at first, but over time it seemed to pay dividends, and I'll forever be grateful for that. And it was just um, easy for him to understand because he had been in the same exact size shoes. So he was a great coach, and he helped me personally a lot.
That's amazing. That's really awesome to hear. I'd really love to hear those kind of stories in hockey. And I know a lot of fans do too. I've got just a little bit of time left. So if you want to squeak in a last second question for Peter, now is your chance. And speaking of the young man himself, what are your strengths that you bring to the team? So you mentioned your speed before. I'll add a little bit of something on my own here. You don't score 56 goals and 84 assists in 110 career college games if you don't have a good shot and good vision. So tell me about your shot and tell me about some of your other strengths.
Um, Thanks for that, by the way. So I would classify myself as pass first, but the shot I would attribute to um, like working out in the gym and trying to get it off as quick as possible. And then I still will say speed is my greatest strength, just because you're skating the whole game. You don't have the puck all that often when you're out there. I mean, it's important when you do, but skating is the thing that I use the most and probably pride myself on. But vision and shot are equally, or not equally important, but they're also extremely important. And I would like to think that I'm decent at those things. Can always be better.
We look forward to seeing you on the ice this season. Last question comes in from Richard Elmore. Snoopy or Woodstock, who is the better hockey player? I don't know if you're familiar with the Peanuts cartoon, but who you got to go with?
I gotta go with Snoopy.
That's a good answer. I love that answer. Peter, thank you so much for the time. Looking forward to seeing you on the ice this season with the Glads. Really appreciate you joining me on the show here tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Peter Morgan signs with the Atlanta Gladiators. He's the 6th member of the squad so far this season. He's entering his first season as a pro. Right shot forward comes from Suni Geneseo. And as I mentioned before, he put up a lot of points in his time there. So I think if he can find his scoring groove, I think he is going to be a force to be reckoned with, as he was a scoring machine in college and juniors. So see what he can do with the Glads in his first year as a pro. And as Peter and I talked about, seems like Peter's first year anywhere new that he goes is a big one. So looking forward to seeing him on the ice this season. And another friendly reminder, single game tickets are now on sale, and they're still on sale. Go to atlantagladiators.com for that. And with that, we will send you on your way. So make sure you tune in Thursday. We're still Tuesday. It's only Tuesday. We just got another one this week on Tuesday, 6:00 p.m. We will welcome another Gladiator to the team. Tune in to find out who it is, as this has been another edition of the Player Signing Show presented by Lippes Mathias, attorneys at law. But I do have to get one more thing in before we head out. He's been popping up in the live chat so far tonight. I'm going to wish him a happy anniversary. It is the 1-year anniversary of Jared Youngman, our team president, coming to Atlanta. We love everything that he does. He's a great president, and he's on the President's Day graphics. So happy 1 year to Jared Youngman from me and on behalf of the rest of our staff. Thank you for joining me here tonight for the Player Signing Show presented by Lippes Mathias. We'll see you again on Thursday when we welcome another member to the squad. See you at 6 in a couple of days.